Mr. 2020 and the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo.
What's up, everybody out there? I want to welcome you back to another fabulous week to the Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. There's a few things we'll talk about today, but before we get into that, Mike, welcome back as well. It's glad having you back on here, like every other week.
Oh, hello, buddy. It's good to be here. I'm happy that you're here today too, and ready to get this podcast going today.
We are. So I was looking at things, Mike. I actually have been watching AEW more recently as well. So I'm back in the wrestling game, right? Like when I say that, I'm not only just doing indie shows now and all that good stuff. And I did an appearance last month, like a convention over here in Clearwater. But I'm also watching the current products. And this past week, I actually watched the last two nights. I watched two wrestling programs. One was Wednesday night. It was, of course, Dynamite on TBS. Well, I watched it on HBO Max. But really good show. I'm telling you, man, Bandito and MJF tore that place up. And if you're a fan of hardcore style wrestling like Mick Foley and such guys, Darby Allin and Pac beat the living crap out of each other in the first opening contest. And you also had a four-way match for number one contenders for the tag team championships. The Bucks were in it, but they didn't win. And then the team that won, I can't think who the two guys are. They're pretty big guys. They're managed by Don Callis, and they're getting a title shot against FTR coming up. So that's very interesting to see. But a really good show from top to bottom. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said years ago when they opened, pro wrestling needed an alternative. Everybody thought TNA would be the savior. And for many years, they were. They were the alternative, and they were the place to watch, right? But once the doors opened and, TNA was, at the time, they're back. They're getting there again. They fizzled out a little bit. You had AEW come in. Man, AEW was very well needed. And I'm glad to see that they had a really good show. The venue they were in, I'm going to give them props for the venue, bro. If you haven't seen it, you need to go back and look at this. It's like a staging, and then the crowd's like in a U shape. But my goodness, it was a hot crowd from start to finish. It was a full packed house, smaller venue, and there's nothing wrong with packing a smaller venue if that's what you need to do. And TNA is that alternative promotion. I'm sorry, AEW is that alternative promotion that TNA used to be. TNA to me now, being that they partnered up with WWE, in my opinion, is a very big, watered down version of a WWE product to me. I did not catch their show last night because what did I watch? I watched JCW. You should have known I was coming with that. And I want to tell you something about JCW real quick. The storylines going on is so attitude era. It's not even funny. If you guys have not catched this, what was old and fun is new and fun again, right? So you got to give it a go. And speaking of my boy Big Vito, he has resurrected himself, man. I am telling you, it's like I don't know what it is. He still looks like he's in his youthful years of the business, and he is probably the best on-air character they got. And I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with him, but you've got to watch that. So really good wrestling this week on the front of watching TV-wise. So have you catched any products this week or anything we need to talk about?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of TNA and the World Championship match with Kazarian and Mike Santana.
Yep.
It was a pretty good match.
Okay.
The finish was definitely a WWE finish.
Did Santana win the belt back?
He did.
Okay.
He knocked down the ref, of course,
mm-hmm.
and then Kazarian low blowed him or hit him with the championship or something.
Right.
And then he hit his finishing move, and Santana kicked out. But as soon as he kicked out, he jumped right up, like no sold it and stuff. And then he hit his finishing move or something. And then the ref just pops up out of like nowhere, like he no sold it. It was like a very WWE feel finish.
Yeah.
But it was good to see AJ back at TNA.
I did see that.
I know he's a WWE guy, but he's TNA for sure.
Oh, he's through and through TNA, bro. He's heart and soul.
But did you see the backstage spot with him and Kazarian?
I did not. The only thing I saw is he made his in-ring interview, I guess you can call it, segment, and that's all I've seen of the whole show. Otherwise, like I said, I was primarily occupied with other shows. But you there? I think we're having some audio issues.
Are you there now?
Yeah, you just froze
Okay.
up like a pitcher. I'm like, he's staring at me, or he's a pitcher now. So
No, you was staring like I don't know, it went black and then it looked like we was lost signal or something.
okay.
But somebody was trying to do an interview and stuff, and AJ comes up and kind of stares, and Kazarian, the heel, kind of said, "What do you want to do? Like, whatever. Like, you should be thanking me for giving you the house and everything, because AJ just said it's the house that he built and everything."
Yeah.
But then AJ just stared at the TNA title. So now it's kind of hinting maybe we'll get a TNA championship match with AJ up in it. But this was before. Well, this was before Kazarian lost it.
Yes.
So did they go the route that Frankie Kazarian and AJ go 1-on-1 without a title? But then, or does AJ go after Mike Santana for the championship?
Right.
Which that'd be a good match too.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mike Santana. I think he hits on all cylinders. You know, from seeing the things I've seen over the years with him. But you know, on the other hand, I'm also a Frankie Kazarian fan because Frankie, I worked a lot with Frankie, and he was also one of the suicides over the years. But Frankie was a delight to work with all the time. Very, very professional guy. AJ, it was good to have AJ on the show, regardless if anybody thinks that's good or bad or not. I mean, he's heart and soul of that company. I know they had Dixie Carter. I heard she made an appearance. I did not watch that yet. I'm going to later probably. But I don't see the problem with having her on there. She's the background of the years ago, right? She helped keep that company afloat for many years. And the only guy I think that should have been on it, but probably for contractual reasons, I guess, be Double J. If you'd have had the man that, you hear the old story, how the company came together back in the day, the old fishing trip, pretty much with him and Bob Ryder fishing on a boat. And I think Jeff's dad was with them, maybe. I think we had to pull that story up. But I was told the story years ago, and just on a fishing trip, they were talking about wrestling and bringing it back. And there you go, right? And they started out on a weekly pay-per-view basis, and Jarrett got it on television, Fox Sports. Time slot was really bad at first. I remember watching it on Fridays at like 3 or 4 Eastern. It was kind of like the ESPN days of AWA and World Class, So it could work. But then they got on Spike, and that's when it really made a difference. So he should be there. But then again, like I said, maybe it's contractual issues. Maybe he didn't want to be a part of it. I don't know the whole story. But, I see nothing wrong with seeing past people on the show, including Dixie and AJ or whoever they wanted to bring on. It's actually a class act, and it should have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, Dixie showed up and she did her little speech and everything at top the ramp, and then all of a sudden here comes Bully Ray, Bubba
Yeah.
Ray Dillon,
Yep.
and it just had that old vibe where he fire bombed her through the table and
Yep.
everything, and she kind of like in character and stuff. She kind of reached for her back a little bit, so kind of keep the storyline going a little bit, so she can like it was really good. But it was supposed to be more surprises and stuff.
Mhm.
But apparently, like travel and weather and stuff, kind of stopped a lot of the surprises. It sounded like.
Yeah, because they were in the Dallas area. Is
Yeah,
that right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Dixie's got that ties to Dallas, her family. Yeah.
yeah,
Because she lives in Nashville, last I heard, still, but I know she's originally from that Texas area, and her dad, uh, Bob had all that. Panda Energy is what basically ran TNA for years, kept it alive, kept a lot of our dreams alive, the people that work for him. And I appreciate them for that, because I had a nice run there during that time. Yeah, man, TNA. I mean, maybe they're off to a good start. I don't know. I know they're on AMC, and I stream a lot of TV now. I'll be honest. I do not have any form of cable. I don't even have Sling TV. So it's probably another app you have to buy to get their TV show. Is that what I'm assuming here? If it's showed on YouTube, maybe it probably won't be showed
no,
maybe whole matches. I don't know, clips. But
it depends. Sometimes they'll have like certain matches, like the whole thing, but then it's more clips than anything.
yeah. But hey, I mean, that's the way we pick it up. We pick it up because
Yeah,
as it is, I mean, there's so much wrestling out there, dude. I mean, you think about it. You got Monday night, you got Raw. Tuesday night, you got the CW Network's got the NXT show. Wednesday night, you have Dynamite. Thursday night, you have two shows now. You have JCW and TNA, and then Friday you got SmackDown, and then Saturday. Oh, I forgot about Saturday. Saturday you got another AEW broadcast, which is what is it called again? Because I went to it once.
is that Collision?
There you go, Collision on TNT. Man, that's six nights with 7 shows. That's a lot of wrestling.
So did you said you watched AEW, right?
I did, yes.
I didn't watch it because I was busy doing other stuff. But was there a tag team or 6-person tag for the Trios Championship?
Was it the ladies?
No, it was the men's.
Not that I recall.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I saw it online. So that's why I was wondering. So the rumor, Powerhouse Hobbs, he holds one of the championships.
Okay, yeah, he was not on the show. No.
Okay, so apparently they must have been a taping for Collision.
Okay.
They did that like after Dynamite and stuff. And apparently they're going to drop the championships, which you just said it was going to be on. They usually do it on Saturdays.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's rumored that his contract was up like midnight or something.
Hobbs?
So they had to drop the title. Yeah, they had to drop the title because he can appear, and the rumor is on SmackDown, and he might be on SmackDown tonight.
Really?
That means if the timeline pans out, he might be on SmackDown tonight, and then drop the titles tomorrow night on the tapings.
Wow, that's like a 1990s thing happening right
Yeah.
there, man. Back in the war days, you remember? Yeah.
Yeah, because
Wow.
it was because Hangman, Adam Page, and Mike Bailey and his tag team partner, they're actually going to win the championships. Which
Okay.
it's okay, but it's trios out there. Why are you going to put people together to just try to hurry up and get titles off of somebody because y'all let a contract slip away or something?
Right.
You just put three people together to beat trios champions. Like,
Right.
why
It's like
didn't you
they're
have one
just
that? Why didn't you just have your regular trios? Because you got a bunch of them. You got Don Callis family that's got like 30 people up in it now. Like,
yeah.
like do something that makes sense. Like, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Sometimes they do throw like what I call makeshift teams together, and sometimes they'll hit all cylinders, and they are the best team, for the time, at least that time, that you could put together. Um, and the fans connect with them, and then just because they're over as singles. But sometimes you can put people together and it doesn't hit cylinders, and it's probably one of the worst decisions you ever made. So I don't know. Um, I remember the trios. They were setting up the trios match. They did set that up in an interview though, with Hangman and then Mike Bailey and them.
Yeah,
Is
I
that his
can't
name?
remember the other. Yeah, Mike Bailey, but I can't remember who the other one was.
Yeah, it's a new tag team. I can't even think of what their tag team name is, but it kind of reminds me of when Air Paris and AJ Styles was at the end of WCW. They were
Yeah,
called Air Raid, and everybody. I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody made fun of that crap, right? I don't hear nobody making fun of this team name, and
that's what Jet Speed, ain't it?
yeah, there you go, Jet
Yeah,
Speed.
but I don't know the guy's.
Yeah,
I don't remember the guy's name
me
that
neither.
Mike
Right
Bailey was
off.
paired up with.
But I mean, they were a good tag team in this 4-way. They had the match with the Bucks and the Don Callis team, and then it was two big guys, man, Samoans. Can't think of the tag team, but really good. I mean, they were really good. I mean, I don't know why, they're not pushed really harder than they are. They were really good. Probably one of the best Samoan tag teams in a long, long time. So we're talking about back to the Samoan SWAT team days, old school days. But like I was saying, everybody made fun of the air raid back in the day, and I've never, we didn't. The internet was around, but not like it is now. But nowadays, I didn't hear nothing about saying, "Oh, jet speed is dumb." I don't know. The fan base has changed. But what I'm trying to get at here is, for their time, when they were young, we're talking about Paris and Styles. We all know what happened with AJ. AJ's one of the biggest stars ever now. And Paris should have been. But things happen why certain guys don't get the same push as others. It could be just that it doesn't happen, because Air Paris had every bit of the same talent and abilities, in my opinion, as anybody else, and he'd have been a good X Division. So if Frank Paris hears this, which his ring name was Air Paris, if you hear this, just know that you were one of my favorites to work with over the years, and I really believe you should have got a run somewhere. But anyway, it's just sad as WCW closed when it did, because them two would have been probably cruiserweight tag team champions, because they have the cruiserweight tag titles coming out, and them two would have been really good. So if you compare the teams of that was 26 years ago, roughly. You compare 26 years ago to now. I mean, I'm just saying, young guys, good tag team, young, youthful, all this flying around. You can compare the two, and if we could put the Air Raid against that team in a dream match when they're all in their youth again, perfect tag team, good cruiserweights. Man, but it did remind me of Air Raid for some reason. I guess the name mainly. So that's what I thought of. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, WCW Air Raid. Air Paris and AJ Styles. So
Yeah.
anyway, so a lot's happened in the last week, because that's the last time we've been on here, about a week ago. The Beastmaster, Rick Link, has passed away, only in his 60s. He's been sick for a few weeks. I believe he was in his second time in hospice care. He got out of it the first time. Everybody thought he was going to make a full recovery and all that. And, it didn't happen. And, prayers out to the family, his sister, his wife, nieces, nephews, whoever. Prayers out to you, guys that have been friends with him for a long time. Prayers for you guys. So a little bit about Rick Link, Beastmaster. Okay. Funny story is when I first met him, I was probably 1990, and I would go to these independent shows in Concord, North Carolina. They'd have them every Saturday night. We drive from Charlotte to Concord to see these shows. When I didn't have another show to go to, like sometimes I go to South Atlantic and other promotions, but on Saturdays that South Atlantic wasn't close by, I'd go to this independent show ran by Willie Clay, and it was called TBC Sports. So every time I saw it, I always thought about TBS because it was TBC Sports. And mind you, I was probably 12 years old. So, but I met him when I was 12 years old. He had his gimmick table set up at the Old Armory on Main Street. And I remember getting there early and, you know, just a larger than life fella, man. He always was a big guy, had his head shaved, and sometimes he'd wear a do-rag, but he had his face painted up already when you got there. And I didn't know who he was yet. And I got to meet him. He actually was a really nice guy. He sold me a picture, autographed it. And I actually bought it. I got my dad to buy it, of course. But that's where I first met him. And I watched him that night, and he was a heel. And I don't recall who Beast worked, but I want to say he worked maybe Willie Clay that night, because he did a lot of matches with Willie Clay, the guy that ran it. I saw a lot of their matches over the years. He also worked Ivan Koloff in the area, some names like that. But, you know, just larger-than-life character. And these pictures that he'd sell, he had Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart in the pictures. Well, I didn't know his full background. You know, I'm 12 years old. I only knew a little bit about Memphis territory at this point. I knew that Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett came out of it, and I was a big fan of them. But I didn't know about 1982 or 1983 that Rick Link was Man Mountain Link, and he had a run in the Memphis area and held the Southern Heavyweight title. So big deal, bro. Years later, I got the work shows with Link. Fast forward, probably 19. This comes to mind real quick. So I talked about it months ago on the podcast when it was all audio. So me and my buddy Todd Childers, known as Shocker, got involved with CCW at the time, Carolina Championship Wrestling. We were the Hardcore Wrestling Alliance. We had a promotional versus promotional feud. We were like doing our NWOs type stuff. We get the crowd riled up. We give them crotch shots like DX. We were like the degenerates, young guys coming in with our group versus an older group such as the Beastmaster and them guys, right? So I remember one incident one night. It was at the Academy Rec Center, but we was outside the football field. So the way we made our introduction into CCW was, they're like, how do you guys want to go about this? You just want to storm the ring? I said, no, we want to come down the ringside. We want to do a Hall and Nash type thing. We want to sit in the crowd. We want to heckle your first few matches. And then when the time comes right, we'll jump in the ring, jump on your guys, right? Well, the funny thing about Beast was, and he was the most professional guy I ever met. He didn't think we were young snot-nosed punks. Like a lot of the guys in that locker room wanted to whip our asses for real. Beast was all in for just having a good time with this. So I remember I was running around the one side of the ring to jump back in, and we had like spray paint and everything. We spray painted their backs, HWA, like NWA would do. So I run around the other side of the ring, and I see Beast, and he's like, whoo, whoo, doing this like berserker type thing, right? And I go, oh no! I was selling it real big, and I run like a chicken shit, right? And the crowd loved it. But then I would just beat on other guys that I could beat on, but it was so funny. Beast was really cool. I didn't like he carried snakes around the locker room with him for his gimmick. I never liked snakes, so I didn't like that. So I never let him put them on me or anything. But that's one story with Beast I can remember. But always a professional. I got to referee his matches after that fact, after our promotional feud was over. but always a professional class act. Hardcore legend, you can call him, because he was very good at that. The likes of Abdul the Butcher, you can compare him to that, in that style. And he would eat raw chicken on TV. So, he did some crazy stuff. But I will tell everybody out there, if you do not know who I'm talking about, Rick Link is his name. He was known in the Carolinas as Beast. We called him Beast or Link, but his ring name was Beastmaster. And his name back in the Memphis Territory days, and it's on DVD and YouTube and everywhere, having a feud with Jerry the King Lawler, was Man Mountain Link. So do yourself all a favor and look up some of his footage if you don't know who I'm talking about, and get more acquainted with this. But during the Carolina era, I grew up with that, so I know exactly who this man is. And when I heard he passed, and I saw him a couple years ago, and at WrestleCade, and I saw him again at a couple indie shows over the years, living back up that way, Mike. And I'm glad I did. But a really good man, and a lot of history in this business, and Godspeed. And when I think of more Beast stories, I'll bring them at us later. But that's the main, what I think of Beast. Good man and fun just to be around.
Yeah. You said he was in the 60s, right?
Yes.
And he was still doing what he loved to do, was wrestle and everything. But they said he was sick in like
a while.
around November or something.
Yeah. But he still made WrestleCade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's a picture online, Mike. I don't know if you saw it. He's with Jerry the King Lawler at WrestleCade.
I think I did see it.
Yeah, and Jerry's had his problems too, and that was really cool. I'm glad Beast got to go, because, a lot of people don't understand this, and when I was younger, I wouldn't have got it either. But think about this: you're down, your health's bad, and you go to these conventions, right, to see your friends, because you never know when your last day is, and it's a blessing that he got to go. I'm glad he did, and I'm glad that picture's online. That's phenomenal. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, with all the Jerry the King health and stuff, they said he's colorblind now from all the strokes and stuff. So.
Yeah, and everybody knows what I think about the King. I think he's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. And a lot of people that grew up in the Mid-Atlantic area will disagree with me and argue. They'll be like, "Nah, Harley Race or Ric Flair," and that's good. We all have our opinions. That's what I tell everybody. We all have our opinions, but when we start arguing over our opinions, that's when it's not fun. Yeah. That's when it's not cool to say who you like, because if everybody gets their panties in a wad, it's not fun at that point. But if we can talk about it and say, hey, I think this guy's better. Well, no, I think this guy was better in his day. That's fine, but there's no need to argue. And the internet has made that evident. That's all it happens. Yeah. And with today's current climate, we can attest to that, right? Everybody's different political views and shit that's happening in this world. Excuse my French. I'm sorry, but there's no need for that, man. I don't go online and spewing my beliefs to you every day. Why? Not because I don't care about this world or the United States. Not because I don't care. Just because I don't want to spend my time worrying about reading it and arguing with people. I got better things to do. So that's why I don't do it. I don't have time.
Yeah.
Do these people definitely have jobs? Why do they have time to go argue with this, right? That's all I'm trying to say. So
now I will say, in my opinion, the King is better than Ric Flair. Just like, I think he's better.
The King is the greatest.
Yeah.
The King, man.
I honestly think he's better than Ric Flair. I mean, Flair was good, don't get me wrong. 16-time champion.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the King just, I don't know, he had, in my opinion, like, better movesets. Like, his punches looked better. And, like, stuff was just, in my opinion, just looked a whole lot better with the King doing it. So, people, like you said, people's going to say, oh, I'm wrong about that. And I know who it's going to be, Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous. but yeah. Like I said, the King is definitely better, in my opinion, than Flair. I can honestly say I think he's definitely better than Bret Hart, too.
Okay.
and Booker T.
Well, I don't know why Booker came into this discussion because he never even talked about Booker.
We just talked about it before we started the podcast.
Yeah, but it was about what? What was it about?
Kirk Williams.
That's right. You think he reminds you of Booker,
Yeah.
and you don't like Booker.
No. Trick
Now,
is a better athlete than wrestler,
okay.
but like his vibes and stuff, like Booker T vibes, and I just.
Well, let me ask you this: what's your problem with Booker? I don't know if you've ever even told me.
I just never liked him as a wrestler, and
Okay.
but then him on commentary sucks.
Okay. Well, I haven't
Like
heard much. I've heard only a little bit of his commentary.
go to it and then listen to him sing Joe Hendry songs. He ruined it.
Did he? Well,
Oh
is
man,
Joe Henry's song really that good though?
it
Come on.
was the Booker T song. It
Okay, well we differ on that because these videos you sent me with Joe Hendry singing songs at Christmas and stuff, bro.
okay.
I turned them things off. I did. What the
Yeah.
hell am I listening to?
Is that the one with about Miz and everything?
Huh?
He was on SmackDown during that one,
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, he's got a couple good songs. Now, it's not the greatest. It's not gonna be
Okay.
like it's not gonna be like our treat or nothing.
No, R-Truth, my boy. Me and Ronnie used to
Yeah.
run the Carolina
I,
roads,
I
man.
like our truth. I honestly think he should be a world champion in WWE.
He
But
should have been
I think that ship is definitely sailed. Uh,
probably, but
but
and
can you
Ronnie.
imagine if he did get a world championship right now? How big of a pop he'll get? Because he gets a pop every time he comes out.
Oh,
Can you
he's
imagine how
definitely
great that is?
yeah, he's definitely over. And the thing is, you can look back in some of them years he was really comedic with everything he did.
Yeah.
But the thing was, he got that over. It doesn't matter what he did, he got over. So that goes to show that he's a superstar in himself. But Ronnie was good from the first day I met him. First day I saw him was working for Stallion and George South in the Carolinas, and I had left for a little bit, done a bunch of other indies, came back because I needed some work because I wasn't getting as many weekend shows. Stallion and them said, "Yeah, come on," of course, like always. I get back in there and I'm like, I see this guy come dancing out in the ring, and he starts hip hopping, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But it was good. And I thought in a million, I swear to you, from the Lord above, he was at a Nitro. Probably, I want to say I met him in 97. So he probably was in Nitro in 97, right after he got trained and got into business. Backstage, because he knew Jackie Crockett of the Crockett family, the camera guy. Jackie, by the way, Jackie's a great guy. But he was backstage already meeting with people like Hogan and guys to get signed. I thought in a million years he'd have been signed to WCW first. They did not. So he went on a couple more years, did indies. Next thing you know, he's signed by WWE. I think WCW dropped the ball on him even back then because he was talented. Even if he needed more training at the power plant, they could have got that for him if they thought that. But you could have put him on TV, let him rap, let him talk, maybe even send him out with Harlem Heat or, you know what I'm saying? Something. But I think they dropped the ball. He was ready to go. He was one of them guys that probably didn't want to be a pro wrestler to begin with. But you gave him the ball, so to speak, and he could run with it. He's just one of them guys that gets it and got it and understood it. And that's why Ronnie's good, whether it's comedic, serious, whatever they give him, he hit a home run, and he always will. And but you're probably right. The ship probably has kept sailing away on that, but it really don't matter. Ronnie's had a long career, and he's made some money. So if you look at it like that, he's accomplished more than a crap ton of guys. Yeah. So, yeah, good guy, man. Good guy and very, 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 very talented.
I just don't understand how they turn him like more serious when he shaved his head and everything on TV, and then all of a sudden like Cena's heel turn comes to an end. So now Truth is going back to the comic,
Yeah.
like comedy thing. It just didn't make sense. Like if he was stayed on the serious thing,
Yeah.
I could say he might be in maybe a championship match. Maybe not winning it, but at least a championship match.
Yeah.
But
Right.
going back to the comedy thing, I just don't see it right now.
Yeah.
But I was
That,
hoping for the serious thing. That would be more like a TNA run.
yeah.
That was really good.
Because he cut his hair and everything.
Yeah.
Now, did he grow it back already?
No.
Okay.
No. It still looks short. Last time I saw it.
Okay. Because that's the last time I watched their product. Is when all that
And
was
then
going on.
like wearing like a do rag and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I think you talk about WCW dropping the ball on them. You can also say WWE dropped the ball on them for not making them a world champion. But you can also say TNA dropped the ball with them for letting them leave to go back to WWE. Because they had a star right there.
Yeah, you're right. They did. But, he was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
And back in the day, most of some people, it's still warranted, right? Because Billy Corgan's got NWA, and they say that's the richest prize in the sport, right? But back in the day, it really was. So he's in that long list of Harley Race, Ric Flair, Jack Briscoe. Sting's in that list because Sting won it when it was still NWA. He's in that whole list of guys. Dusty Rhodes, Ronnie Garvin. So, yeah, I mean, you can just say that. He's in that list of NWA world champions, and he'll always have that. So he's been a world champion. That probably it means just as much as having that WWE title. So he's done it, man.
Now, do you consider that as the NWA championship? Like, I know it is.
Yeah.
But it was underneath the TNA banner when they first started.
Yeah.
So
even
really
Jeff Jarrett said that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Even Jeff said that the reason he wasn't in that TNA heavyweight championship list or whatever, he believes it's because he was the NWA champion under the TNA banner.
I don't know. Like I think they had somebody else that was just an NWA person in that list. I think they just left him out.
Who's that?
And also Jarrett.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I heard him talking to Conrad about it up on the podcast, and he's thinking it's because of the NWA, like you just said.
Yeah.
Conrad kind of made a point where he named a couple people that was NWA people underneath the TNA banner, but they counted them too.
Okay.
But then they also counted like the Impact Wrestling, and then the Global Force when they was kind of in TNA and stuff.
Yes.
So it was kind of iffy. Like I could see both their points on it.
Yeah. And we go back. I didn't mention two names that's really highly regarded in the cage fighting too. The Ultimate Fighting was Dan Severn was NWA World Champion, and so was Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
And then that's another thing. Ken Shamrock was so over in the late WWF days before it was E. That's why I call it that. Hell, he had a match with Shawn Michaels on pay-per-view, and I remember watching that, sitting at home going, man, is he going to win this title tonight? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of guys I think could have had the WWF or WWE title that never got it. That could have made money. And then here's the thing. WWF has the World Heavyweight Championship and a WWE Heavyweight title. Am I right about that still? They still got both. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Ronnie could have held one of them. I mean, let's look back at the NWA days when Tommy Wildfire Rich in the early 80s held it for like a few days or something, right? It was real short. I can't remember how many days. Maybe only been 2 days. But Ronnie could have held it for a week and lost it back on the next Raw.
Well, don't forget, Drew McIntyre just won it, a couple years ago at WrestleMania. And after he won it, Damian Priest came out less than 10 minutes and won the title.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it was a catch-in, but he only held it for like 10 minutes at that time. So,
Right. Yeah.
but like you said, he could have won it like they did with Zack Ryder with the Intercontinental Champion. He won it at WrestleMania one year. Then he dropped it the next night on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. True.
So like they could have done it where had that moment and stuff.
Right. You're right. I don't know, dude. I'm just but back to Booker T. Okay. His wrestling, bro. I think like when Russo gave him the heavyweight title in WCW, when I was there, that was one of the best moves they could have done on the roster at that point. Booker, I don't understand why you never liked Booker as a worker, but we all have our differences. But I think he deserved it.
No.
Okay.
No. Like I just don't know. It's just
you just don't like anything about his wrestling? About his gimmicks? Nothing? Did you like King Booker?
no, not really.
Okay.
No, like I said, the only time that I thought he was okay was when he was up in the Main Event Mafia in TNA.
Okay. Well,
but then there for a while, he was more a background character in that group, so you didn't really see him a whole lot either. So
okay. Well, I like Booker,
well,
as a performer and a human being. I
think Stevie Ray was better.
I like Stevie.
I think Stevie should have got the push and not Booker.
Well, I don't. Hey, I'm not the one that makes the decisions.
Oh, put Stevie Ray on commentary. Let him sing Joe Hendry's song.
Stevie was good on commentary in WCW Thunder. I do remember him talking.
He's good. He's good on commentary. Booker T ain't.
Yeah, Stevie was like Taz. He put me over once or twice on commentary.
Let's just say Booker T needs to stay on NXT or somewhere where I don't have to listen to him as much.
Okay. That's crazy. But you know what else is crazy, guys? Let's talk about it right now. Crazy is not going to CowboyRevolution.com for Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company and using the 15% off code that is JamieT123. I'd say go now because today, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I had on my Cowboy Revolution hoodie down here in Florida because it was 32 degrees this morning. And being from Virginia the last few years, and actually being from that area anyway, I was used to that weather. But I'll tell you what, I sure as heck like the warm weather. And this morning I was freezing. So that hoodie from Cowboy Revolution came in handy. So I tell you right now, guys, go take a look at their merchandise after the podcast is over. Or if you can do two things at once, go right now. And go to CowboyRevolution.com. Use the code JamieT123 for 15% off at checkout. It supports the veterans. Didn't give Mike the chance to say it this time.
Yeah, it does support the veterans. And if you're in Virginia, Florida right now, probably North Carolina, anywhere on the East Coast.
Hell, it's probably everywhere cold right now.
I know you got I know we got a listener in California right now. I'm sure everybody needs a hoodie right now.
Yes, absolutely.
It is freezing right now in Virginia.
And for some reason, if you disagree with that, like you have in the past on some of the things we have said, go to this email, leave your questions and comments to WrestleRef123@gmail.com. And if you need me to spell it out for you, WRESTLEREF123@gmail.com. And we will answer your questions and listen to and read your comments and go over them on the podcast.
Just don't be Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous.
That's right. And
now, if y'all don't like that, I don't like Booker T. Guess what? Tell me. It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
Tell Mike.
I don't like him.
Tell Mike.
I don't think he should have been a 5-time world champion in WCW. I don't think he should have been a 1-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I don't think he should have won any titles except
Wow.
for the tag titles with his brother because Stevie Ray carried that team the whole way.
Wow. You really
No
are
wonder,
serious.
no wonder Stevie Ray turned on Booker T back in the day. Booker T deserved it. Stevie Ray was the true leader of that group.
Okay. I mean, I agree that they were a great tag team. Booker, when they went singles way, Booker obviously became the main one out of the tag team, just like it always happens that way. Just like with the Rockers, right? It always happens. Well, regardless if the guys really got more potential or not, it always happens, Mike. You also got to look at this. If Ricky Morton would have took the World Heavyweight title in 1986, you might not have seen the Rock and Roll Express after that. Because if you did, they may not. Ricky says all the time. He said it, man. He did not take that move because he knew they'd split him up, and it would hurt Robert's career, and they may have fired Robert or whatever, right? So he did what was best for longevity business wise, and he did what was best for his friend. So you can't say that was wrong. And but they were the Rock and Roll Express, the hottest tag team forever. So you can't discredit that, But if they would have split up, Ricky would have took the World Heavyweight title. Would he have had a long run? We don't know because he didn't do it. But he had a good feud with Flair that year. I do remember watching the TV, which is also something the fans need to go watch. 1986, from like May through July, go watch the Morton Flair feud unravel. It is great. Watch it on Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling TV shows. I think they still had they changed it to Pro by then, Pro and Worldwide. Go watch them, and then go watch the Saturday night and Sunday evening tapings from the studio. Man, that was a good feud. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on. So, Mike, also, do we have any? We had some other news I wanted to talk about. What was that, man? I wanted to talk about today. Well, one thing before we move on to the news part of it, we want to talk about our first guest ever on the podcast. Happening next week, guys. You don't want to miss it. Next week, Roanoke, Virginia zone. Bobby Yella, known as the Yella Man. I met Bobby back in 2018, right after I moved to Roanoke, and it was at a Montville show, Mike. And he came up to me and was talking about WCW straight off the bat, talking about how he loved it, blah, blah, blah. Wanted to work with me eventually. We did get to work some stuff together in the Carolinas and Virginia, and Bobby is a talent. He's old school to the core and can still do some fun stuff, but he's old school to the core, bro. And Bobby will talk about his experiences in the business next week on the podcast. We're going to go full in depth on the interview. We'll also hear about Bobby Yella. Also makes some good music. He has his own albums out. We'll talk about that. One song is about Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man, because he's really good friends with him. So we'll get to talk about that. Maybe we can have the track played and all that good stuff. But we're going to hit it hard next week with our first ever guest. We've been talking about this for weeks, maybe months. And I'm just excited as I don't know what to have this happen next week. So
You said he does that, the Pure Pro Wrestling, right?
That is correct. Pure Pro is one of the promotions in that area he works for in Virginia.
So do you think he's going to be at the show in Montville January 24th, which I'm very sure I'm going to be there this time?
Okay.
Because the person that you just mentioned, the WWE Hall of Famer, the Boogie Woogie Man, is going to be there in Montville, Virginia. And if you don't believe me, here's the flyer.
Mike's got the flyer. Look at that, people.
Yeah.
Montville Recreation Center right outside of Roanoke in Bedford, Virginia. The 24th. Look at that. Boogie Jam 26. He's right front and center, too.
He is.
I don't know if Bobby's picture's on there. I couldn't tell.
I don't think so, but
okay.
But who knows? Maybe I'll talk to him next week on the podcast and see if he can go, just so he can sign this autograph with the Boogie Woogie Man.
Yep,
I'm taking this so the Boogie Woogie Man could sign it.
I would too.
So
yeah. Boogie's Place. We've talked about this before. I think he's got open on Sundays up there in Shawsville from 12 to 4 every Sunday. He welcomes guys that are currently in the business, people that are wanting to get in the business, like, hey, I want to be a wrestler, or I want to be a referee. He welcomes that to talk about getting onto the school. And he also welcomes the fans just to come hang out. And it's definitely something to see, Mike, if you've never been. I don't think you've ever been, have you? You definitely need to get there one Sunday and just they'll let you hang out for the whole 4 hours if you want, or just whatever. But they sometimes throw in some matches for the people that come, and it's a unique setting and like a museum of its own. So it's something to go see. So if you're ever in that area of Virginia, guys, Southwest Virginia, near Roanoke and Christiansburg and all that, Blacksburg, whatever, go over to Shawsville and check that out, because it's something to see. And Jimmy will talk to you every Sunday that he's there.
So. He will. I remember. Do you remember the old Happy's in Roanoke?
I do. Yeah.
All right. He used to be there. Happy's used to be a really big flea market type place, and he used to be there. He'll talk to anybody. So good guy. Yeah.
He likes to sell gimmicks, so he'll talk to anybody.
Yeah. Well, he deserves to be a WWE Hall of Famer, just like Chris Benoit needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
You are right. Chris Benoit is very deserving.
And Vince Russo needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Vince Russo? Yeah.
So
Vince Russo,
Vince McMahon too. Don't forget.
That's one of the things I wanted to touch on today too, man. I sent you something earlier. Let's see if I can find it.
On X.
Yes. Here it is. Okay, it says discredit. This is what Vince Russo put out on X today, guys. I'm gonna read it in context all the way, and then me and Michael touch on this. So, discrediting people in their 60s, 70s, 80s for what they accomplished in their illustrious careers is just sad to me. Attempting to tarnish legacies for whatever your reasons are really says a lot about you. What's the real issue? Do you believe that you are not getting the credit that you think you deserve? Whether it's Gene Simmons discrediting Peter Criss, or Bruce Pritchard discrediting the great music man Jim Johnston, do yourself a favor, look within. I've never been a fan of tearing others down to build yourself up. The fact is, in your own way, we have all achieved great things in our lives. And Bruce, I guess it is about Bruce Pritchard after reading that middle part there. I missed that earlier. Also, let me publicly say this for the record. For as much as you think the WWE Attitude Era doesn't hold you, I give you as much credit as anybody else who was part of that era, and I've been for the last 30 years. I hope that makes you feel a little bit better. I will always state that you are the greatest producer in the history of wrestling. And yes, that includes me. That was said by Vince Russo, and that was earlier today. So apparently, and I did hear that recently, Jim Johnston was talked about. I guess he was discredited for all, he made all the music for years for the WWE. Basically, it was said in a nutshell that all his stuff after a while sounds the same. Maybe it does. I don't know. I've never really paid that close attention. I know he had some good tracks back in the day, like Demolitions in the 80s. He made all that wrestling stuff. The Pile Driver album, great stuff. As a kid, I loved it. But basically what Russo's saying in a nutshell, Mike, and I totally agree with him, there's no need to go on social media tearing down people for no reason. I mean, I've had beef with people before, but I don't come on social media or go on podcasts and tear them down, make them feel like crap. I don't know exactly what Bruce said, so I'm not going to say nothing negative. I'm not going to do that. I probably wouldn't anyway, if he did, if I knew what he said. But what Russo's saying, guys, in a nutshell, and he's 100% correct, there's no need to tear each other down in this business just to make yourself feel better. There's no need. I tell people, and I've used this saying in my life, I've done more than some and less than others. That's a true statement, because not everybody does the same thing in this business, and not everybody has the same path. So just look at it that way. If someone's had a longer run than me, good for them. Good for you making all that money all them years. But if you've had a shorter run than me, I'm not going to say you're no better than me. You know what I'm saying? So just put that in consideration, guys. With so much going on in the world, that was a good message for Russo to actually put out there, because the world is a terrible place, and there's no reason in a business that's already hard enough on you, whether it's physically or mentally, the travel and the stuff you got to do and the meetings and the greetings. And for some of these guys, is nonstop, always travel. It's stressful. They got families too. There's no need to tear them down to make yourself feel better. So it's a good message, regardless of what he's talking about exactly. I don't know much about it, but and I will say this too. I do like my interactions with Bruce in the past. I like Bruce Pritchard. I have nothing negative to say about the guy. But then again, you know me, Mike. I've really got to have heat with somebody to say something that's bad. I really don't go around just looking to talk bad about people. So I'm not going to do it today, but I'm just saying it's a good message by Russo is what I wanted to say.
Well, I tried looking it up, and I can't find nothing on what all started that or nothing.
I think it was something to say about Johnston and the way he does. I don't think he works for him no more.
No.
Yeah.
They got some kind of wrestling or music thing that everybody don't really care too much for, like Death Rev or something.
Oh, okay. So it's just one of them things. Russo just is saying that people shouldn't be discrediting other people to make themselves feel better. Maybe that's the way he interpreted it. I don't know. I want to go actually look this up now that this came out today. I just want to say Vinny was once again going at it, talking about WWE, because you know how he feels about Triple H. He said it, and good for him. I mean, he's in a platform, and another thing about Russo, he's at a place in his life, by what I can tell, he's content, he's happy, he doesn't need to try to get back onto WWE. He doesn't care to. So, he's happy with what he's doing. So that's good for him. And I guess that relates to, hey, I don't care what I say, But that's a good way to be anyway. I mean, when the chains are off and you don't feel like you have, it's like our jobs trying to make you feel like you can't do this or do that, or I'm going to get in trouble. That's child's play, man. Any place we work. No one should ever feel that way. Or feel like you're in eggshells daily. And I think he feels comfortable. He's happy, and he's having a good time. So good for him.
Yeah.
I like Russo. Like I said, I like Pritchard too. I don't know. I don't know if you can name a name today for me to blast, but I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out if Russo got hacked, because he's better than if Vince Russo got hacked on X. Because two things.
Okay.
Vince is better than Bruce and everything. So Vince would never said Bruce was better.
I knew that.
And now that whole long X thing, I didn't hear the first row. Where's the bros at? I don't think it was Russo.
Okay, you're right.
I think he got hacked and everything. I think Bruce put that out there and trying to make Russo kind of whatever.
God. Conspiracy theory right there. What are you, Jesse Ventura?
I mean,
with this conspiracy theories about the military and different things. Next year, telling me aliens fall from the sky. What time? Midnight tonight?
Where else are they going to fall?
Oh my God!
The mothership is up top. They got to fall from the sky.
Oh, I'm done. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. one of my the biggest run of my life was WCW. We all know that. Not just because the company was the biggest, but because the paydays were the biggest. But you know, I was that Russo era, and I'll have Russo. I respect Russo, and I was during the Russo era, and I always would talk good about it. So there we go. If you know how they got Paul Heyman guy shirts and Jim Cornette guy shirts, I mean, that would piss off Jim Cornette really well. But if they had a Vince Russo guy shirt, I'd probably be wearing it.
Yeah, I'll definitely have a couple of them.
Yeah, maybe we need to look into that. And if it hasn't been marketed, maybe we need to make some.
Yeah, then we'll put our podcast logo right up on it and say that we support Vince Russo and we're Vince Russo guys.
That's right. That's right. I'm down with that. So, Mike, as we're going into next week, we're going to have Bobby Yellow on here, our first guest. We're going to go in, like I said, there's no question that can't be asked on our podcast. And I'm sure he's aware of that. So are you going to have your questions ready?
Oh, yeah. And unlike these other people, I'm not going to be anonymous about it.
Okay. Yeah, I just talked to him earlier. We were messaging back and forth before I got on, making sure he's good for next week. He's good. Said anytime we're able to do it, just let him know. He doesn't have a time frame of a certain day or time to do it. So we're going to be on here next week, guys, and we're going to go full bore. We're going to have our first guest, and we're going to talk about his career and hopefully have some laughs and move forward, you know. And I look forward to bringing you guys new guests from that day forward. You know, we're in the works of talking to people, and we will have them on here to talk. And not just prominent indie guys from your areas, but we're going to have some big boys on here too. Like, we're not WCW where the big boys play, but we're going to have some big hit players on here as well. I'm in the works of that as well.
Maybe the WWE Hall of Famer, the Boogie Woogie Man.
That would be nice. Jimmy Valiant would be real nice.
I mean, never say never.
Hey, I have talked to I haven't mentioned Billy Silverman yet. You know, my other WCW compadre, referee compadre. But I did mention it to Randy Eller of WCW referee fame as well. And Randy Eller's down for it. So we'll have Randy Eller on here. I'm pretty sure I can get Billy on the podcast like a snap of a finger. Got some other people in mind. It's going to be a good time, man.
What about one of our favorite wrestlers?
Who's that?
Vito.
Hey, big Vito. I'm pretty sure Vito would love to come on. And everybody knows how I feel about him. I've told the stories how Vito's he's got your back, and thanks you're one of the boys, he's got your back. And it's probably one of the best things to have is guys like that are true and blue, man. And he's up at Devon's place right now training. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't.
Yeah, he's up in Orlando, and he goes over to Devon's. He's training with the students. He's actually doing the drills with them. He's got some of the videos online. And he's also teaching class a little bit, Vito giving his insights. And he's had a couple pictures taken with Devon. It looked great. They both were trained by Johnny Rods, old WWF fame. 3 W's, guys. I hope I didn't say 4. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Vito's the real deal. Still in great shape. Still looks young, great to go. And he's down at Devon's now, making sure he's ready. So, maybe on some of these JCW tapings this weekend, Vito will be back in the ring. He'd already worked one match last week on there, and looked really good. But yeah, I look forward to seeing more Vito, and I think he's in shape, man. He looks better than some of the young talent today. A lot of the young talent, he looks better. He looks like a professional wrestler, and I can't wait to see how that company unfolds. RVD and Kevin Nash have both got behind the JCW movement, man. They're saying that thing's about to blow up. So, it could. I mean, you got your man Vinny Rue behind it. And, Vito has been, like I said, he's been resurrected on this television show. Who else can we get involved? It'd be nice to see RVD on there. Maybe get some little bit of Kevin Nash on there, man. Who knows? Who cares? Bring back nostalgia. I mean, everybody's going to watch it because they're going to think back, man, that's when we had fun with it, But they're getting endorsed is what I'm saying. They're getting endorsed by these, not just me and you talking every week, putting it over, but they're getting endorsed by legends in this business that's been in the Hall of Fame. They're endorsing behind it. So everybody believes the same thing we do. Russo is a hell of a writer, and that's going to show at the end of the day. So I look forward to seeing how JCW moves forward. Pro wrestling as a whole right now is still in good shape. I don't think pro wrestling's ever been in bad shape, in my opinion. Even in the off years, as we call it, I was always a fan because you always have your fans that stay with it. And then you have your fans that come in and out. And then you have your fans that hit a decade. And some are kids, and when they get older, they just, life comes and happens. They get out of it. It's not because they want to. But I've been a wrestling fan for life, not just because I've been in the business, just because I'm a wrestling fan. And I think wrestling's in really good shape right now because I'm going to name all these companies, and I'm going to tell you right now, they all have talent that is out of this world. WWE, AEW, TNA, JCW, MLW, NWA. Have I missed anything? AAA is part of WWE. NXT. What have I missed?
One of the best independent companies there is, Pure Pro Wrestling, with these wrestlers.
There you
They
go.
got some really good talent, and it's
Mike
local.
Yeah,
and it's local. That's
Yeah.
the best part.
Yep.
These are the future of the wrestling. WWE, TNA, AEW, New Japan,
Mhm.
AAA, CMLL. So that's the future.
Also, I was telling everybody I was doing, getting back into doing gigs again. I had last Friday up in Winter Haven. It was at a place called Tanner's Lakeside. It was for Florida Pro Wrestling, FPW. Me and Randy Eller got to referee the matches. There were 6 matches. Really good young talent. Santana Garrett was on there, the show. She's a really good talent. I used to work with her and Shine when I lived here in Florida the first time at the Orpheum down in Ybor. But, she's had a WWE run. She worked in TNA since then. But really good match with this. I can't think of the young lady's name, but they had a really good match. I got to officiate that, and I officiated 2 other single contests of the night, 6 card total. But good night, good talent. Wrestling is still well and alive, not only up your way, because I know about the talent up there. The last 7 years, I got to meet a lot of them. But the talent down here is still hot and still fresh and still ready to go. So I look forward to getting involved down here. Like I did some stuff up there. And speaking of up there, I will mention this. In August of this year, there is the Chuck Coates Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Chuck, we talked about it a few months ago. Chuck had passed away. Really good friend of mine since I was a teenager. Former South Atlantic Tag Team Champion as part of the German Stormtroopers. He was Hans. His tag team partner was Helmet. Yeah, I remember that. And Chuck did a lot of WCW tape-ins and WWF matches. He worked Andre the Giant, actually, on WWF. He worked Sting several times on NWA, which was WCW. So, yeah, really good guy, really good friend. Got to know him. And they're doing a tag team tournament for him. And it's happening in Fisherville, Virginia for Mid-Atlantic Territory Wrestling, MATW. Another great company. Brandon Bailey does a great job. I want to throw that out there for you, my man. And maybe something I'd be interested in going back to Virginia to get involved in because it's for an old friend and a good Mid-Atlantic show. And, maybe I'll be up that way, Mike. Maybe we'll check it out in August. But everybody in that area or can make it, go to it. Support it. Demolition is the first tag team announced. They're coming up with more later. It's going to be fun. So, Mike, one more thing before we head out for the day, my man. We want to talk about this again. We want to remind everybody. You want to take it this time, Mike?
Well, everybody, go to cowboyrevolution.com. Buy those wonderful warm hoodies. Keep you warm. Nobody wants to go out with freezing arms and bodies. Buy you that hoodie. If you got a bald head like James, get you a hat. You don't want to. There you go. You don't want a cold head.
It looks good,
If
though.
you, well, I want to say that. Get you a hat. If you want something hot to drink, they got tumblers. Drink you something hot. And where would you get all this stuff? At cowboyrevolution.com. Use the promo code JamieT123 and save you 15% off and support the veterans.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
Well, you probably could, but that was a pretty good one.
Also, remember your comments and questions. Send them in, guys, to WrestleRef123.
Don't be anonymous.
Gmail.com. You can be anonymous because I want your question.
Don't.
Okay.
We do want your questions.
Hit us up.
Just don't be anonymous.
Okay. Hit us up. Let us know what you think or whatever. Send a question. We'll be more than happy to answer it. Next week, Bobby Yella from Roanoke, Virginia, independent fame, Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man's camp and everything. We'll talk about it all. Me and Mike will be back next week for that adventure. So stay tuned. Got anything else, Mike? Or are we getting out of here?
No, I think I'm good, buddy.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And peace out for today.
Bye, everybody.